So tell me, what are we talking about today?
The 25th anniversary of Sega Saturn, the Nintendo Switch version of Alien Isolation, how to play video games without messing up your body, Nintendo and Netflix creating Zelda anime, Christian Bale reveals why he won't play Batman a fourth time, Star Trek 4 officially on its way, Kathleen Kennedy says George Lucas criticizes Star Wars because he finds it difficult to let go, everything we know so far about Amazon Prime's Lord of the Rings TV show, J.J. Abrams reacts to George Lucas' Star Wars regrets, Sacha Baron Cohen says social media companies have created the greatest propaganda machine in history, Baby Yoda plush toys don't exist because Star Wars spoilers. Deadpool director says he left the franchise because of Ryan Reynolds. Director J.J. Abrams' Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker still not done. The Mandalorian Episode 3 and Episode 4 review. YouTube Kids content creators demonetized. All this and more in this week's episode of Keepin the Geek Bros, a family podcast, allegedly. Stay tuned.
Geeking out never looked so good. Two incredibly sexy men will rise for your auditory pleasure. Here's your hosts, Keeping Up with the Geek Bros.
Yes! Keepin the Geek Bros podcast, episode 88. I'm your host, Vibe, and with me is my fellow geek bro, singular, but hopefully not for long,
Darth Flex.
Listen, before we get into it, I want to apologize for not having an episode last week. It was basically Garbanzo's fault, and because he's not here to defend himself, I will just blame it all on him.
100%.
I was supposed to be recording at his place, and I drove there. I went to security. Security called him. He didn't answer. Security said, "You can't come in." And I sat my behind there for 18 minutes and never got let in. And I went home, and then I went to South China Forest. So all Garbanzo's fault. If he actually shows up, then maybe he can defend himself if we remember. But with that being said, we're finally here with episode 88, which is kind of an amalgamation of last week and this week's topics. So, Flex, before we get started, tell these fine people who are probably pissed that they didn't hear our voices last week, our social media.
Was last week Thanksgiving?
Yes. Was it?
Maybe, I think so. Maybe they weren't that pissed. Who knows? But so you guys can check us out on Instagram and Twitter at Geek Bros with a 0. That's GEEKBR0S. You can also email us at geekbros0@yahoo.com. Send nudes, tasteful nudes, please. You can also check us all this shenanigans out on facebook.com/geekbros with a 0. And the first place to find
the first place,
BBGeeksPC.com. Shout out to Mike.
Good man, good man.
What do the kids do? This? Right.
Yeah, well, I do that too, sort of.
Why do people do this?
One love. I don't know. I have no idea. Because this is lame now. You know what I'm saying? Peace. So now it's stone-faced. You know. So, and of course, don't forget that you can check us out at youtube.com/Vibro Studios if you want to see this duo of milk chocolate and Egyptian cinnamon. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
So definitely check that out. The video recaps are usually posted days after our audio, and I recommend it if you want to see what's going on. I mean, of course, this podcast is to be heard, not seen, but some of the facial tics and the jumping out of frame and the weird faces, you want to see it because it's a lot of fun. So with that being said, we're going to get to comments and questions from you, the audience. All right, running it down. We got comments from Facebook. Now, we posted on Facebook a meme, and it's funny because we want to get into this. It's basically Kathleen Kennedy saying, every one of these movies is particularly hard nut to crack. There's no source material. We don't have comic books. We don't have 800-page novels. Kathleen Kennedy, she said it to Rolling Stone, November 2019. When you scroll down, you'll see that there's Will Smith doing this, and it says Expanded Universe fans are showing all the Extended Universe books, all the references that there could be to use, and that Kathleen Kennedy is basically full of shit. So Eric Owens, the man with the plan, he said, how do you fuck up the most popular IP on the planet so badly. It just baffles me that these people still have careers or jobs. And I absolutely agree. Now, this is Eric Lewis's friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so it's funny because I'm just like, if he feels this strongly about it, how does he lose his friend when Lewis doesn't feel this way? It's so funny. I wonder if he gets into the same like back and forth like me and Garbanzo do. Curious. Met him at Friendsgiving. Cool guy. Probably my rival, but cool guy. All right, so we're gonna move on to Instagram comments. Squeezy Bits sent us an article from the Nerdist about YouTube's demonetizing. He said it doesn't. He said it doesn't look like much, but I'm going to link a video of a guy who does unboxing of toys and Legos and how it could affect him as a creator. By getting a $42,000 fine from mislabeling your content. So he actually sent us. That's actually what's going to be Squeezy Bits' pick. So thanks a lot, Squeezy Bits. You need to get your ass back on this podcast. You pussy. So YouTube comments. Bucky Carney commented and he says, "Hey, great channel. I think that you should use followism. Since I started using it, my channel is getting more subscribers." That's obviously spam, but I'm gonna read it anyway because we need the comments. Fans Willix Collide commented, "Hey, I came from Tumblr." That was a comment placed on our Shut Up I Love It. Technically not Geek Bros, but most of all the Geek Bros were in it, and then some. So and it was funny because they basically linked over to the video from my Tumblr post of our reaction / review of The Mandalorian episode 1, which you have to see if you haven't seen it. You really should check it out. It's a lot of fun. We have a whole bunch of brand new faces, and I think we had a good time. It was a good time. Was it a good time?
It was an interesting time.
I think it was a good time. I had a good time. Twitter comments. We have our first poll in a while. Posted on Rose Zero. That's what she said. It says, should we dress at Vibrep Studios as Baby Yoda? Hashtag full of Sith. Hashtag Baby Yoda. Hashtag Star Wars. Hashtag The Mandalorian. At the real OJ32. What? Why did you do that?
Because he needs some love, dude.
That is so funny. Anyway, the answer is yes, green face, nah, and Epstein no kill himself. And we had 3 votes. 100% is Epstein no kill himself. We actually have another poll up there right now, so you guys should check that out. Remember, the polls are always ridiculous. We have a blast, and it's fun. And it's anonymous. So it's not like we gotta know who posted what. So just vote on these polls, because I absolutely love reading these polls on the podcast. I love reading the results, and it's fun. Emails. We got a response from Ed from the boys over there at Suspicious Behavior Productions. He said, "Jason, thanks so much for taking the time to read the new issue, episode 4, and taking notes, no less. We greatly value all your feedback, both your praise and constructive criticism. Issue 5 is finished, and we'll be sending it out early December for your review. Best regards, Ed." So basically, not only do they appreciate the fact that we're reviewing it, they listen to the review, Flex.
I know.
They listen to the review.
I saw it because I think it was on one of the Instagram comments. They made it very clear that they apologized to me that there won't be any nudes in the
They did? I didn't see that comment. Where was that? We need to put that on.
I think it's on Instagram.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
They already finished. They said that they already finished the whole story, and there's no nudes in it. I'm like, damn
it! Oh my god! But I'm actually quite really. I have to look for that. I didn't see that pop up at all. Interesting. Or maybe they did it on Twitter. Are you sure?
It could have been Twitter.
It was probably Twitter, because Twitter is where I act them. I act them at Twitter. I gotta look for that.
Yeah, it is Twitter, because I don't have access to Instagram anymore.
I gotta fix that, because I still have access, but I can't find the reset password function now. It's driving me nuts. Where is it? I'm looking for it right now. La da 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 da. Hey, no dead air. La da 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 da. Hey.
Oh, my eyes have seen the glory of the stomping up.
Okay, well, I don't see it, but that's really funny. But it really, I don't want to say warms my heart, but it warms my heart to know that you're not only are you giving us the opportunity to review your handiwork, but you're listening. And some people say, "Oh, hey, review this," and they'll never look at it. I know of several individuals that we've covered their events. We sent the links and they never looked at it. They never posted it on their social media. They didn't care. You know what I'm saying? So it feels really good when you get feedback like that, especially from a great product like this. So we look forward to issue 5. Thanks again, Ed. You guys are great. We actually have to meet them one day. We do. I think maybe after they do all the issues, we should figure out where they are and let's do a special episode and cover it and interview them.
That'd be nice.
That's what I'd like to do because they're great. They're great production. All right, so that's it for comments and questions from you, the audience. And I'm scrolling back up. Gent, anything to report?
I got the Jedi Fallen Order.
So did I.
It's pretty freaking sweet. And I've been working overnights for this whole week, and it's fucking killing me. I think between today and Monday, I've had maybe a collective of 12 hours of sleep. But it's only for this week. And then I'll be at a regular shift next week, 8 to 4. Which works out. So that way, as soon as I get out of work, we can go see The Rise of Skywalker.
Which is fantastic. That's exactly what I want to hear. Yes, 2 weeks. But that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, for me too. Got Rise of Skywalker. Sorry, Rise of Skywalker. I got Jedi Fallen Order. We're gonna do a review on it. I'm waiting to get a little further, at least halfway through the game, before I review it. Because it's at first, if I had to say anything, at first I was underwhelmed, but it's growing on me now, and I'm no longer yearning for Jedi Force Unleashed. So it's growing on me. So I'm gonna give it a little time before I give it my actual review. So maybe another 2 episodes or so, and then maybe an original recipe episode. Maybe for a countdown, we'll review it for a countdown.
That'd be pretty good, actually. Yeah.
To Rise of Skywalker.
Just before I got on here, I tried it on Jedi Grandmaster. Holy fuck!
Is it hard?
It's hard,
dude. It's hard.
I got killed by a bug.
Really? Yeah, it's hard for me. It's hard for me as Jedi. It was a nightmare as Jedi Master. It was hard for me as Knight. And what am I? I'm at the easiest one now because I just want to play the story. Pretty much. I just want to know the story. I don't want to get my ass kicked. And because I died how many times just on, was it Bagona? Baganon or whatever it's called. And I'm just like, come on. And every time one of those big creatures showed up, I would flee for my life. I was so scared. So did I tell you that I actually did on Jedi Knight though, or Jedi Knight? I did beat that cave one, the one I told you that was killing me in like one hit KOs.
Oga.
Yeah, pretty much, because you told me Flex is such a piece of shit. He said you need to just get over it and learn to master the block and the and the dodge. And he's absolutely right. Though. It's true. I didn't master the block. I'm not good still with the parrying. It sucks. But I've learned now. I hit like 2 or 3 times, dodge. Go back to him, hit 2 or 3 times, dodge, and I'll never get hit. So now the game is a lot more doable for me now that I've utilized the dodge. So I just want to throw that out there. Other than that, it is official, ladies and gentlemen. I am moving. So I'm actually, December is inventory and slow breakdown, and then January is official move. So we won't be meeting probably for the podcast for the next few weeks. We are doing, however, meeting once to do the rise of Skywalker countdown to the movie. We're going to do that this weekend, and that'll probably be one of the last things filmed at this location. As I am moving from my apartment, I'm breaking down the studio and I'm moving to a different location. So, we'll see. There shouldn't be. I don't anticipate there being any slowdown on content or on the podcast, but you never know because I haven't moved in over a decade, and this is a pain in my ass. But just throwing it out there, that's what I have to report, and it'll be fun when I reset the studio in my new location and see how it looks and how it doesn't look. But it'll be prettier and more colors. So fresh start for 2020. That's what I'm trying to do. All right. So next question.
So what's going on with the Geek Bros?
The Geek Bros. Nothing. No, that's not true. We do have the old episodes you haven't seen. I am currently editing the Gamer Comic Expo video. It's actually quite short, so I'm trying to extend it because it's a little shorter than I would like. We do have Dark Crystal, actually, believe it or not. What Dark Crystal review was done, and then my computer froze, so I have to re-edit I have to re-edit about, I don't want to say 1/3, but at least a quarter of it has to be re-edited, and all of the graphics have to be redone. So whenever that happens to me, I don't know how you guys are, but whenever it happens to me, I get frustrated and I don't go back to the project for a while. So I'll probably go back to it over the weekend, but it was pretty much done, and I literally added the ending sequence. And believe it or not, the ending sequence for all the Geek Bros major episodes, where it says "Geeking Out still looks this good" and the thing flies down, that graphic is not pre-rendered. The intro for our web series is pre-rendered, so it's just adding a video. The outro is not pre-rendered because the title has to change every episode. It says Geek Bros and it says what we just reviewed. So I don't pre-render that. What I do is I leave it as um, an imported project from After Effects into my timeline. So when I go to After Effects, I can change the title and it pops up on my timeline. It's called Dynamic Link. Well, for whatever reason, when I went to change it to Dark Crystal from, I think, whatever the last one was that we did, when I went back to my thing, it froze. And when I did there's an option where it allows you to reload when you crash, and it didn't work. So that's what happened. But that is coming down the pipe. Check it out. Of course, Countdown to the Rise of Skywalker is coming. We're going to be filming it this weekend, Saturday or Sunday, all of it, and I'm going to edit the heck out of it. It's going to be 5 or 6 mini-sodes as we count down every day until Rise of Skywalker. Then, of course, we're going to have the Rise of Skywalker review, which will be filmed on location here with the webcam, probably because the camera is acting like a fool again. But stay tuned. 2020 definitely will be the rise of the reboot. I've commissioned a new artist to do new cartoon figures of the current Geek Bros, Vibe, Darflex, and Garbanzo. So that'll be fun. And so we're going to have new intro, new pictures, new everything. So it's all coming. 2020. So just ride us out here. That's what she said in 2019. All right, we're going to move on because 60 minutes in, we haven't done a damn thing. All right. If this is the first time you're listening to our broadcast, then please take a moment to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcasting app. If you're watching us, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share. YouTube has recently changed its algorithm to favor corporate channels, so independent productions like ours aren't being recommended. It's reducing our views and it's limiting our exposure to new audience. So with no further ado, episode 88 starts now. Let's get into the Fresh Scent.
Fresh Scent.
What's new in the video game world? Video games out this week, brought to you by Darflex.
All right, well, we're going to cover 2 weeks of video games today, right? Is that correct?
You don't have to. Nah,
no?
Just do this week.
This
do you want to do it? Do you want to?
I mean, it's not that much because it's really dead.
Okay, do it.
So let me just do the 2 weeks.
2 weeks, suckers.
We're going to start with November 29th. We have Weekless for the PC and Xbox One. We have Still There for the PC and Nintendo Switch. The Tourist with a Y for the Nintendo Switch. Head Snatchers for the Nintendo Switch. And now we're on December 3rd. We have Life is Strange.
I think that was the first time I ever heard you almost lisp.
I actually have a pretty bad lisp.
I know you say that, but I've never heard it. But that now you said December for a second, and I was like, wait a minute, that was the first time I ever heard it.
I have a fat tongue and I have a permanent retainer. I have a permanent retainer on my top teeth.
Really? That's so funny. I'm sorry, that caught me off guard.
So
tell me about December.
So the December 3rd, we have Life is Strange Episode 5 for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Arise, A Simple Story for the PC, PS4, Xbox One. Earth Knight for the PC, PS4, and Nintendo Switch. We have Sega Scarlet Grace Ambitions for the PC, PS4, Nintendo Switch, Android, and iOS.
Oh.
We have Skellboy for the Nintendo Switch. Simularka for the PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch. We have Farming Simulator 20 for the Nintendo Switch. Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition for the PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch.
Oh.
Now we're on December 4th. We have Vampire the Masquerade, Quarries of New York for the PC. We have Star Ocean First Departure R for the PS4 and Nintendo Switch. Now we're on December 5th. We have Mosaic for the PC. Darksiders Genesis for the PC and Stadia. Now we're on December 6th. We have Assassin's Creed, the Rebel Collection for the Nintendo Switch. And that is all for this week.
Really? That was
No,
short. You're
sorry,
absolutely right.
I missed one. Ashen for the PS4 and Nintendo Switch, and that comes out December 9th.
Anything on there that you were interested in?
Uh, Not really, actually. I mean, maybe. Mm, no, not at all.
All right. Well, thank you. Sorry. Thank you, Darkness. We're gonna move on to the Battle for Azeroth continues. Are you even playing, bro? Let's be real. I mean, I know I'm not
I am.
because. Are you okay? Carry on.
I'm trying to level through and like get some of the stories that I haven't done before the new expansion comes out. Because like I mentioned before, the new expansion will give you only a linear story, which you have to pick once you get to the first expansion of World of Warcraft, which arc you want to play. And they also cap you at level 60. So I'm trying to do as much as I can before that. I mean, it won't come out until later next year, so we have plenty of time to do so. But so far, we saw that in the video. So Sylvanas beat the shit out of the Lich King and so on, and she's bringing forward the Shadowlands. But it seems that so one thing while I was playing through in the current expansion, the racial leader for the goblins, Jester Gallywix, that fat fuck, he's no longer the racial leader. He actually stayed loyal to Sylvanas, and he disappeared with Sylvanas when she killed Sourfang and left the Horde. So now the goblins have Gazlo, which is the trade prince over in Ratchet, as the racial leader for the goblins as far as the Horde goes. So that's cool. I mean, Gaz was a pretty familiar face if you know who he was. He used to, kick it and run Booty Bay and Ratchet. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
I thought you were gonna say he ran booty.
Well, I mean, he did, but like booty as in like money.
As in money, as in bounty and
I mean,
wealth and riches.
I'm sure he was slinging dick all over Azeroth. That's neither here nor there.
Of course not.
Have you ever played either now or you played it before the Dark Moon Fair?
What's that?
The Dark Moon Fair is I think it could be the first or last, but the first or last Sunday of every month it begins, and it lasts 1 week. And you have to teleport. You can either teleport from a mage in your capital city, or you can go over to, or if you're a horde, Thunder Bluff, and there's like a little obscene area, like a little obscure area, and you go there and find a portal. All it is like it's a fair. It's a fair where you can go fishing. There's a live band. There's you can play carnival games. You can win a bunch of cool stuff and loot, and then they give you missions to do within the month to bring them back and turn them in for other cool shit. It's all it is. It's a carnival. You go, you buy tickets to do stuff, and you get money. You can win stuff. You get cool loot. There's music. There's special foods. There's alcohol. You get like a special mount that you can ride while you're in there.
This is a video game, right? That's what you're talking about. You're talking about like it was an actual fair.
Well, I mean, that's how they're portraying it. It's like, remember when the PlayStation came out with that PS Home? Like you would make your own house and you could chill there with like your friends online.
Oh, okay.
It's
yeah.
So it's just have it. This is like Ready Player One without the virtual reality stuff. You go and you hang out in this one hub and just chill and do shit and pretend to get drunk and Bill Cosby other players. Like you can ride a roller coaster, so you can. Oh, there's a petting zoo. there's a petting zoo. The band, I will say, is pretty cool though. That's good music. Speaking of which, never mind. You haven't gotten there yet, but I sent you the video last night.
No, I have not.
And Jedi Fallen Order, the soundtrack is done by a Mongolian band called The Who.
Okay.
It's actually pretty good. It's like a Mongolian metal band. It's pretty cool. It sounds like aliens talking, but it's not because it's Mongolian. But yeah. So as far as the World of Warcraft goes, really, right now, all there is a bunch of endgame stuff and a bunch of raids and collecting all the mythic gear if you haven't already. And we're just waiting for the expansion pretty much. I would absolutely suggest that if you haven't ran through any of the storylines, that you want to run with any specific characters, do so now. If you want to level up your allied races, do so now. And take advantage of what you have with the level 20, because once again, once we get the new expansion, we're going to get capped at level 60. And little fun fact, we've actually been seeing the Shadowlands since Warcraft first came out. When you die in that little world that's like all misty, that's the Shadowlands. And now that the dome has been broken, you can actually see Shadowlands through the eyes of the dead, I guess, if that makes sense. Or the undead. I don't know. But,
it makes sense to me.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it for the World of Warcraft. The Battle of Azeroth, I'm going to say, has come to an end. Or not, because I think we're going to be fighting to save Azeroth from the things that come out of the Shadowlands. But it seems like there's, at this moment, no longer a faction war. The Horde and the Alliance are in a kind of a ceasefire.
Stalemate? Oh, okay.
Because remember, they all joined together to fight Sylvanas towards the end.
Right.
So, we're there.
All right, well, that's it. Thank you very much, Flex. We're going to move on to our first article, the 25th anniversary of the Sega Saturn. Now, this article comes from Kotaku.com, and today, which was last week, November 22nd, is the 25th anniversary of the Sega Saturn. The console first went on sale November 22nd in 1994 in Japan, and it wouldn't go on sale in North America until the following year. The console wasn't a smash hit, but it did produce classics like Panzer Dragon. However, a Sonic game was never released on that console. I never realized that. They never released a Sonic game on that console. So I'm only bringing this up because I love me Sega Saturn. Sega Saturn was the ish for me. Daytona USA. Holy crap! That game was, I never played that, but Daytona USA Virtual Fighter. What?
Oh, yeah, pretty tight.
And those two games came with the Saturn when I got it. So I loved it. I loved every minute of the Saturn, and I liked the way it looked. I love the name Sega Saturn. This was probably, for me, was the last gasp for Sega as PlayStation began to take over, and I never.
You never liked the Sega Dreamcast?
I never played it. I never got one. Because Saturn upset me. Saturn, they basically stopped making games for Saturn after like a year. That was it, and there was no good games on the Saturn. So eventually we moved on to the PlayStation 2 when Dreamcast came around, and that was it. Sega was done for me. I was very upset because I was a diehard Sega fan. So when the Saturn came out, I was all about it because I skipped the Sega CD because I heard about the Sega Saturn coming out because I think it was going to be the same thing. So I was very upset about it. You know, I love the Master System. I love the Genesis, and Saturn was fantastic. So for me, this was the last gasp. I never did the Dreamcast, but the Sega Saturn, I have fond memories. I got a bootleg Dragon Ball Z game, not a bootleg, but it was like a jailbroken one from Japan. It wasn't even a US release, and that game was the bomb. You control your friends, you control your people. You're just fighting, and then you hit somewhere and you fight. It used to be great. Did you have a Saturn?
Yeah, in New York when I was a child.
Oh, see, New York.
It was good. I played a cowboy game called Lucky Lou.
Never heard of it, but it sounds fun.
Yeah, it's like a little shooter. It's pretty cool. It's fun.
All right. Well, if you guys have any fond memories of the Sega Saturn, by all means, email us and let us know because Sega Saturn. All right, we're going to move on to the Nintendo Switch version of Alien Isolation. This article comes from Kotaku.com. Nintendo Switch version of Alien Isolation will arrive December 5th. The port will come with all 7 DLC add-ons, so get ready to bring your pal, the Xenomorph, with you on all the holiday travels. So I'm just releasing that. It's out. Have you played any of the Alien games on any of the systems?
I have Alien Isolation on my Xbox, but I have not played it. But I've played every single game before that. I've played, they've had like a Predator Concrete Jungle.
Yeah. They've
had Alien vs. Predator. The most recent one that I played was, I forget the name. It might have been Alien vs. Predator, but it gives you the option to play as an alien. Mm-hmm. There's 3 storylines. You could run the story as a predator, you can run the story as an alien, or you can run the story as a space marine. And I gotta say that one was pretty entertaining. Playing as an alien was pretty fun.
It sounded like fun. Sounded like fun to me.
I'm looking forward to playing. I just haven't. I mean, I don't. I have like 140 games on my Xbox, and I haven't even played half of those. So I have to. I have to. I don't know. Quit my job, I guess.
Yes, yes, you should. We should all quit our jobs and just get ourselves checked in somewhere.
But
I don't know what.
I heard it's a pretty good thriller or suspense game. Like it's a very suspenseful game. So
Will you play it? I mean, I know you're involved in other things.
I'm gonna play it. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is more of like a sneaking around kind of game.
Okay.
Like you're trying not to get murdered by the alien. So it's like very suspenseful. I'm not too sure if there's a lot of combat or fighting, if any at all. But from what I've seen, it seems like you're just trying to not get murdered by an alien. So,
Oh, all right. Well, I'm interested. You tell me how you play. I'm not gonna play it, but you tell me how it is because I think the
I
last
think
suspenseful game that I played was Resident Evil, the first one, and that was pretty much it for me.
it's suspenseful.
Yeah, I mean, I play it at night and you don't know what's gonna pop around, and it's
Oh, but
eerie.
well, do you like Resident Evil?
I did.
I mean,
I
4 and 5 are pretty solid.
I mean, I haven't. I think I played 1 and 2, and that was about it. I think once they deviated from the main character, Chris, was it Chris? I
Well,
think I stopped playing.
they haven't deviated. I mean,
Yeah,
you
was it?
play as Chris in 4.
No, but Chris
Oh
wasn't
no,
in one of the video. One of
that's
them.
Liam. Oh no, he's been in a lot and has
He
not been in a lot.
exactly, but I think I don't know, one of them he wasn't in, like between 2 and 3, and I was like, all right, well, I'm not interested because I like continuity of the characters. And I play video games for the stories and for the characters, not just for the sake of playing it.
Well,
It's never been me.
I will say this: there's a lot of continuity. For example, when you play as Leon, you in one of the games you actually find Claire Redfield, which is Chris's sister,
Right.
and it kind of continues the story and why she's been gone for so long and what happened to her and so on. Spoiler alert: she gets captured and she gets turned into some kind of robot killer extension, Black Widow thing. But no, there's definitely continuity. Like there's like the story itself doesn't change. You may play the different character, but it all carries on from the last game. That's what,
Oh, okay.
except for Resident Evil Raccoon City. I think that one you just play like as a SWAT cop, which is kind of like what Halo did with Halo ODST.
Right.
It's like a small DLC where you just play as a orbital drive shock trooper.
Oh,
But
okay.
I mean, 5 you play as Chris again, and you're in Africa, and that one's pretty fucking cool, man.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta check it out.
It
I
was
don't
it was it was hard to be, and it's multiplayer. You play as Chris and this fine ass black chick, and you just you're killing all these African dudes. Kind of had a little bit of Tears of the Sun, Hotel Rwanda kind of feel to it, but it was good. It's
All
good.
right, all right. Well, maybe if I ever finish Kingdom Hearts, I'll actually revisit the Resident Evil franchise. Who knows? All right, we're gonna move on to how to play video games without messing up your body. It's articles from Kotaku.com. I you see I I choose these articles because they're so stupid. Because it's this, I'm only gonna read the headlines, but it's so self, it's common sense. So here are the tips. Drink water and snack healthy. Okay. Good posture makes a difference. Take breaks. Remember to stretch. No, that's it.
That's it.
That's how to play
But
video games without messing up your body.
it's funny because I actually know Dr. McGee, right? And she's a physical therapist. She's not like a physician or any of that stuff.
Right.
It's funny. I'm like, wow, shame on you. But like drink water and healthy snacks. Okay, obviously drink water. That's a common sense. You don't have to be a rocket heart surgeon for that. Whatever. So
Well,
here she.
Here.
What was that?
You don't need a rocket surgeon for anything that was said here. It's all common sense. You would
Yeah.
think.
So for example, she says it may be tempting to grab a soda, coffee, or alcohol, but they'll dehydrate you and make you tired. Okay. Yes, don't grab a soda. Yes, don't grab coffee. But if you're, and it's funny because she works with e-sport players, I guess you want to call them.
E-sport athletes.
But she said that it'll slow you down. If you want energy, eat yogurt and fruits. I'm like, bitch. Okay, first of all, Dr. McGee, Coffee is a known ergogenic. Coffee is a known nootropic. Coffee is known to give you energy and boost performance and boost your cognitive performance. So why the fuck would you put, okay, maybe decaf coffee, but that's just dirty water. But real coffee, I would 100% recommend drinking coffee to not mess up your body playing video games. It's going to help you up here and all over everywhere else. So I don't know, Dr. McGee. I mean, you're a physical therapist. Good on you. Stick to that. Okay, that's it.
Well, thank you so much. This is why I put these out there, because I know it gets under Flex's skin. I love it. All right, we're moving on to inebriated fitness. Darflex is an exercise physiologist with a BS in exercise and sports science. He is a certified CSCS strength conditioning coach, a CASSN sports nutritionist, sports injury specialist, and currently an MMA weight cut specialist and nutritionist. Sweating post-workout. When your body temperature rises, what is that? Screen?
What? Oh,
Yeah, what is it? Your escrine glands?
It says eccrine glands, but I think
glands?
It's supposed to be exocrine glands. I think it's just spelled wrong.
Okay, your exocrine glands secrete sweat. Sweating is a process whereby the body tries to cool itself. Oh, I got a comment. Sorry. Tries to cool itself down. Sweat expelled through glands is evaporated into the air, which has the effect of cooling down your skin, hence body. Exercising causes your body to heat up, triggering your sweat response. Now, I brought this up because in an attempt to break through my plateau or continue losing weight, because the fasting alone isn't doing much, and neither is just the limited workout I do afterwards. My biggest problem that I find, and I don't notice at the end of the day, or maybe because I'm home I don't care, but after I'm done working out, it's usually very limited machines, at least 20 to 25 minutes of cardio, whether it be on the elliptical or on the treadmill. And I'll get back to the gym, I'll dry off, I'll reapply deodorant, I'll put my work outfit on, which is basically pants, a button down, tie, and I'm ready to go back to work, and I'm all dry. I'm in the car, AC's blowing, windows are down, still dry. By the time it's a 5-minute drive to work, I get to work, I sit down, I start typing, and I start getting moist again. I start sweating some more, and I continue to sweat. I would say, not profusely, not like if I'm working out, but I continue to sweat, from what I can tell, at least 20 to 30 minutes post-workout every time, no matter what. And it's nothing crazy. It's a little damp, it's a little annoying. I just, eventually I cool off. But I'd asked Flex, why is it that post-workout, after we've done and we continue to sweat well into cool down, and after we've cooled off? I can't hear what you say.
Sorry. Do you know what the human body temperature is supposed to be?
99.8, 98.9,
98.6.
98.6.
I mean, if you were to step outside, it was 98.6 degrees. It's pretty fucking hot, right?
Yes.
All right. So when you work out, your body's temperature does go up.
Right.
Not because it's trying to cool down. The sweating is the effect of trying to cool down from overheating. Right. But because kinetic energy, we're constantly moving. There's stuff breaking down in our body. So it's going to create more heat. Friction is going to create more heat. More blood pumps. The heart goes faster. It's going to create more heat. It's the same as if you do this. It starts getting hotter. Okay, or like if you run a car, just floor it. It gets hot at a red line. It'll cease the engine, so on and so on. So after you finish exercising, the body's still going. You don't just stop. Could you imagine if you stopped working out and then your heart just went back to normal heart rate and everything just kind of went back to where it was?
Well, I think you would do that in time, like in a couple of minutes. That's why it's called cool down, no?
Yes, I mean, so there is a significant drop, but not back to like a resting state. No.
Okay.
If you were to go straight to a resting state, because of the amount of blood you've pumped, your blood would probably start pooling like on your feet, and they'll get swollen and turn purple and shit like that. You still have to circulate all that blood. Also, another thing is when we're exercising, we're breaking down protein, breaking down muscle fibers. So when you do that, there is you break down something called, or you release something called creatinine. Okay,
Okay.
especially if you're eating it. So creatinine and your blood urea nitrogen, and it has to be excreted through urine and feces, right?
Okay.
So as your body is constantly going through this metabolic process, it's breaking stuff down. It has to remove stuff. The blood has to keep pumping to get those toxins out of the cells and take them where they need to go, so they can be expelled from the body. Again, this takes energy. Energy, for what we know, right? Energy, large amounts of it or so on, does cause heat, right?
Correct.
I mean, I can't really. I don't know. I guess I'm not a nuclear physicist, but I guess was it cold fusion? That maybe that's the only cold energy. I still could be wrong.
I don't think cold fusion is cold at all, but that's something else
Yeah, that's what I'm
entirely.
saying. That's not my. But when large amounts of energies are used, it's just going to create some kind of heat, whether it's from friction or some kind of electron overload and so on. So yeah, your body's going to keep getting hotter. You're sweating. It's because your body has to cool down, and when it evaporates, what the evaporation does, it's not radiation. It's I think it's convection, or I don't know, whatever the fuck that
Hmm.
is. I should know this because this is part of my major, but that's the one part I didn't put into was convection, radiation. Uh, I don't know, insulation. But so when it evaporates, it removes heat in the form of water, or in the form of water in gas form. Right. That's why you keep sweating, because your body's
Okay.
still hot and your body's trying to get back down to 98.6, but your body's still working to break down and shit you did from exercising, and the metabolic process is still continuing. It's similar to the meat sweats. You ever heard of the meat sweats?
Yes.
I mean, I've never gotten meat sweats because I'm a fucking man, not a pussy. But breaking down protein is pretty. There's a thing called the thermic effect of food. So to break down food, you create more thermal energy, makes you hot. Protein being one of the harder ones to break down. That's why when pussies eat a lot of steak, there's a little bit too much for their body, and they start sweating because they're working hard to break it down. But like I said, I'm a fucking man. I pretty much just absorb that shit. But yeah, that's another reason why you would sweat, because it all comes down to the metabolic processes, whether it's
Right.
digesting or cellular regeneration or recovery or breakdown. That's why you sweat, because the body has to use energy to do those metabolic processes. Therefore, it has to raise your internal temperature.
Do you personally find? I mean, do you suffer? I don't want to say suffer. It's not really an affliction, but do you? Uh, I guess identify with my
Oh,
struggle when it comes
absolutely.
to
Like
post
I'll
workout sweating.
I'll go to the gym in the morning and finish working out, hit the sauna, take a really cold shower for like 10 minutes, get ready, put my work clothes on, head to work. I have like pit stains, so like a sweat stain underneath my,
Exactly.
and like
Exactly.
my
Okay.
forehead's still sweating.
Yes.
Like my like
Exactly.
as soon as I sit down, like my ass is just like soaked.
Yes. I have
So
to
yeah,
get out of my chairs like this, so I don't leave that ass sweats thing. But okay, good. Because I was wondering, like, as a listener, I know, I've gained a lot of weight. I know that I'm out of shape, but I can't be that damn bad where I'm still
yeah.
sweating, half an hour. Uh,
Actually, and the more muscular you are, the more chances that's going to happen, because that's a lot of meat you got to push stuff through. So that's going to create more
yeah, that's what she
kinetic
said.
energy. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But I mean, it's a good sign. It means that your metabolic processes are working properly.
Oh,
So
good. Okay, good. That's a good thing because I was wondering because I mean, listen. What you guys understand is that whenever I have a nutrition, fitness concern, I reach out to Darflex. He's the most vulgar professional I ever know, but he gives it to you straight. And I it was last week I think I really noticed it. I was just like, this can't be right. Why am I in my suit and tie still sweating like if I was working out, and I came back from the gym half an hour ago. And I said I have to text this man, and then we said it would be a great topic. So thank you for alleviating my fears, as I thought there was something wrong with me. So I will cancel my doctor appointment. No, stop. All right, all right. Thank you, sir. If you want any more fitness and nutrition tips, or you like to see some of those sweet UFC posts, then follow my man here on Instagram. That's Darth_Flex, DARTH_FLEXX. We're moving on to, and we did discuss this in episode 87, that we were going to be reviewing episode by episode The Mandalorian until the series is over. So we have to do the new The Mandalorian headline now. So because we missed last week, we're gonna do episodes 3 and 4, and just quick review, nothing crazy, and we will of course do a full review as for both the podcast series review and for the original recipe web series once the series is over. But so episode 3 was called
The Sin.
The Sin. Yes, and then episode 4 is called Sanctuary. So let's do episode 3, The Sin. Let's talk about it. All right, well, basically, the Mandalorian takes Baby Yoda back to Werner von Hitler and takes it, gets his Beskar, takes it back, gets his full Beskar Mandalorian armor, but begins to feel very, very, very what do we say? Guilty. Goes back, has a very sick penetration into the it was like a 20-minute action scene that had a little break and had another 20-minute action scene. It was amazing. For episode 3, it was amazing. He goes, you see him absolutely kick ass of all the stormtroopers, gets Baby Yoda, rescues him, and then has to then take on his own guild. And what I find the most compelling part of that episode was once all the fobs start blinking. One blinks, the other blinks. They all start blinking, and all you know is, oh, shit's about to go down. And you think that would be the best. As he's being surrounded by his fellow guild members, like a live-action dream scene from the Clone Wars animated series, all of the Mandalorians hiding on that planet come to his rescue and save him. He's able to get off the planet. That is episode 3. Talk to me, Darflex. Can't hear you. Fantastic.
First of all, we should address the elephant in the room. That fucking Baby Yoda, man. that little puppet. What they've done with that guy is just amazing. No, listen, it's amazing.
What I'm saying is, Baby Yoda would not exist if Dark Crystal didn't come out. They had to have aped some kind of technology from Dark Crystal. Dark Crystal, and you guys know me. For me to keep gushing about something, way before, it means it meant something to me. Dark Crystal was an amazing feat of puppetry and blend of CGI, and that's exactly the same techniques that either they learned or stole from Jim Henson Company. Guaranteed. That puppet work is legit for Baby Yoda. The CGI is so seamless. It's sometimes actually, I think it's literally hard for me to tell the difference between the puppet and the CGI. That's how good it is by Baby Yoda. Yes, Baby Yoda is.
But aside from the puppetry, it's just anything he does is like, I mean, I'm not entertaining, but it grabs my attention.
It's
more like
cute.
It's
cute.
Again, when he grabs a little ball from the one of the switches in the ship, you're like, oh, that's so cute, so cute. And then when he turns him into Werner Herzog, whatever his name is, and you hear him go, ah! You're like, oh no, my heart. I'm like, that's why it's the sin. But all kidding aside, exactly. I mean, that's going to be a recurring theme, it seems, in the series, is that he's undeniably cute. But the action when he goes to rescue him, dude, that was gangster.
Oh man, come on! I can't believe they left that for episode 3. I can't even that. You know what I thought that was? That was like the perfect season finale. Like, could you imagine if that's what episode 3 is? What's the season finale gonna look like? That's all I thought about. It's like, that was a perfect season finale, and they put it in episode 3. And by the way, episode 3 was directed by a woman. It was directed by the I forget her name. Asia. She's an Asian director. She directed that
both episode. 3 and 4 were female directors.
Yes. 4 was Bryce Dallas Howard.
She can get it. She got a fat ass.
She was it. So but yeah. What did you think about the Mandalorians just showing up last minute and they rescuing that hell on earth that you just saw?
That fucking made my dick so hard. Here's the crazy. So you know that big Mandalorian who starts a fight with him.
Yeah, he's actually related to one of the Vizslas.
Yes, his name is Paz Vizsla. Yes. So the character is played by Tate Fletcher, UFC fighter, but he's voiced by Jon Favreau, which also voiced pre-Vizsla in Rebels. Or no,
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
So I wonder like what the connection. I mean, obviously it's the same last name, but I wonder like
Yeah.
what's going on there.
Yeah, there might be some lore building right there. So
It is interesting too how this this clan is so honor bound. Like you can tell that they didn't like each other, but as soon as that the blacksmith was like, "This is the way," they kind of
yes.
then this is the way.
And by the way, the blacksmith is a female, and she's apparently ridiculously. Oh my God! The Black Widow official teaser trailer is out.
I don't give a fuck.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. I'm looking for it. This is a joke I'm gonna play for episode when we review episode 4. That popped up. Oh man, I got more work to do. When we first started Geek Bros, the geek culture phenomenon was really beginning to blow up, and even then it was hard to keep up. Now it's really hard to keep up. Like, you can't have a day job and have a brand dedicated to the geek culture. Geek culture is so mainstream now, it's ridiculous. So, how would you rate episode 3? I mean, I guess are we doing stars? Are we doing numbers? How are we gonna do this? Out of 10? Out of 4 stars?
Out of 5 stars, I guess.
Out of 5 stars. How do you rate it out of 5 stars?
I gotta say 5, man.
I agree.
A solid episode.
I absolutely agree. It was very solid. And you know what I find to be amazing is that not since Darth Vader have we had a character emotes so well in a helmet. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's the same helmet, but the way he holds his head, and the way I don't know how he does it. You can feel the emotion. Even more so than Vader, in my opinion. Vader, you really saw Vader's feelings in more so Jedi, but I was quite, because you could see when he was looking at that little ball that was on his shifter that Baby Yoda took off, and even though he was just a helmet looking down, you felt the emotions, and it was nothing said. So, all right, we're gonna move on to episode 4, Sanctuary. Basically, it's the first location that the Mandalorian finds. It's on a farming world. They're farming like little krills, and the episode begins with a raid on this community. And basically, they sent out 2 of the farmers. They happen to find the Mandalorian, and they meet. What is the rebel shock trooper's name again? I forget.
Cara Dune.
And we meet Cara Dune for the first time. They have a really interesting little battle because they both thought they were there for each other. They eventually decide to go and help out this group of people. You see probably the scariest chicken walker AT-ST I've ever seen. His eyes are glowing red. The battle scene was interesting. It was a lot of fun. They had a little training montage, which reminded me of Mulan. And, like, legit, I was thinking of the song, I'll make a man out of you. And then when they did this, all I heard in my head was, hooah! You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So I've heard, people said that this is the weaker of all the episodes, and I guess I can understand that after coming off of that blazing episode 3, you'd think they would have to slow things down a little bit, but I don't feel that way. I think that the fight with the villagers versus the dog-faced people versus a really, really pretty good CGI rendering of an AT-ST that's glowing red eyes, it was just as dynamic as episode 3. The difference was, though, you didn't get that shock value. It was more of a horror kind of thing, and more of a suspenseful kind of thing. I cannot say episode 4 was worse than episode 3. They were 2 different beasts. You cannot recreate the pure elation that we got when we saw the Mandalorians jetpacking in. But also, you cannot deny that when you saw that chicken walker, and it was only hinted at the beginning of the episode, and I was hoping, I said, wait a minute, tell me it's a walker. Tell me it's a walker. And when they reveal that walker, glowing red eyes, you can't beat that imagery right there. So what did you think about the episode?
It was really good. You know what? Honestly, what I liked the most was how they captured the scenes in the village. Like in the beginning, them just getting the krill, like the little shrimp. I wanted to eat those. Like,
Yeah, they
honestly.
look good. They look good.
But I think they use them to make alcohol, from what it seems.
Is that what it is? I'm not
I
sure.
think that spatchka that they drink, I think that's made from the krill.
Oh, okay, okay.
Because unless they do both, but those raiders came and they took all the shrimp, and then when the Mando and Kara went into their hideout, it was just tubs of spatchka. You didn't see any shrimp, but I could be wrong. But that drink looks pretty cool too. It's some kind of glowing vodka, I guess. Looks good. But I really liked how peaceful they portrayed this village, and the possibility, not the possibility, because you know that he wants a peaceful life,
Oh yeah.
but he can't have it. He can't have it. And I mean that lady was trying to fuck hard, bro. Like she immediately kicks the kids out, and you're like, they'll be okay. I said they'll be okay. Like she just wants to get up in there. But I really like Cara Dune's character. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with her. I got to say too. Now the trailer we saw in Celebration is making much more sense now, because remember when you saw what is his name, Moff Gideon,
Yes.
the black dude coming after him. Now I know why the Empire, or whatever's left of the Empire, is coming after the Mandalorian. It's all because of Baby Yoda. Because at one point in the episode, he was going to leave him there because he was happy. He saw that the kid was having a good time. But now, after the guild presumably sent someone to kill him, he realized, well, yeah, I can't hear this. They're going to kill him and these villagers.
And that's what I find. That's what I find to be slightly aggravating about it, because he was going to leave Baby Yoda there because he believed that Baby Yoda wasn't safe with him, as if he was the target, when in reality Baby Yoda is the target.
Mm-hmm.
Technically he's safer by leaving Baby Yoda, kind of thing. So I thought that logic didn't make any sense to me, because I'm like, I understand what you're saying. Maybe you don't, life of a bounty hunter is quite dangerous, but in reality they're chasing you because of Baby Yoda. Wherever you drop Baby Yoda, that's where the danger is going to be. The danger doesn't follow you. After a while, they're going to realize you don't have the kid, if that's what it was. So that part of me definitely didn't make any sense. And I don't even know why they even tried to fake it out where he would have shot Baby Yoda. There's no way. And Disney, don't worry, this series is kind of hardcore, but there's no way they're gonna let Baby Yoda get killed in this series. It's not gonna happen. So don't even focus on it. And what's funny is that I thought Baby Yoda was gonna become like the Porgs to me, or the Crystal Foxes. I was so happy it's not like that. I love Baby Yoda. I want a Baby Yoda. I cannot wait till they start selling this up, because I'm gonna buy it like hotcakes. We're gonna give away Baby Yodas on this podcast in the future. So I'm actually, quite glad. I mean, I never got enamored with Baby Groot. I didn't care. But Baby Yoda is the shit. All right,
he's
so
funny too, man. Like in the
is.
part when they're in the ship and he's touching the buttons, like, don't touch that. He's like, slowly. He looks at him. He's like, slowly go like this.
Because I think he understands. I think he's got like dwarfism. He's probably really 50 years old. I'm being real. But the funniest part was when Cara Dune and the Mandalorian were fighting, and they both did the whole Matrix thing where they both have both guns and they're both out, and all you hear is because Baby Yoda is sipping his soup. That I audibly laughed when I saw that. Was so funny. I mean, the writing on this series is so good. I'm so happy. It's like I told you guys in the group chat. Like between this and Jedi Fallen Order, Star Wars is thankfully on life support, and it's great. Hopefully, there's more from this. Hopefully, the Rise of Skywalker doesn't kill it officially.
Hey, did you read that Rian Johnson might direct one of the episodes in season 2?
No, I didn't, and I'm pretty sure if that's true, he probably got a whole lot of hate when that came out, because nobody's gonna do that. It's not that they're not gonna do that. They brought back J.J. Abrams to repair what Rian Johnson did. They're not gonna fuck with the fandom and bring him back. Not so soon. He's got to win back some clout first. Like, you're asking for it.
Hey,
so
here's one thing I was reading into canon recently is so I'm just gonna assume that Baby Yoda is not Yoda's kid, even though the time does kind of match. But I'm gonna say
No,
no.
I don't think so because, well, I guess
It matches for
because
Yoda, not for Luke, because remember Yoda's 900 years old.
right, right. I mean,
And what
because he was born before the Clone Wars, I believe.
yes, no, Baby Yoda.
Maybe he was 50 years old, and I
He's
think
50
they
years
said
old. So at the time
he was
that the
born
Republic fell, that was 19 years before the Battle of Yavin. That's 19 years before Episode 4. All
right.
right, and then this is after the Empire falls. This is what maybe like another
5 years, about 5 years after.
after Episode 4.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, 5 years after Return of the Jedi, I believe.
Yeah, and I'm assuming in between that,
I think between Jedi and Empire was like a year or so, though.
really.
So yeah, it wasn't very that long. It was only like a year or so
Oh
because
yeah, that would have to because Han Solo was in carbonite for a
yeah,
long time.
yeah, he wasn't in there for very long. So he was like about a year. So that's the what 2 years, 22 years. Yeah, he was alive before the Clone Wars.
But here's why I don't think it's Yoda's son. So I was reading into canon to see what happened to the Jedi Council. Yaddle actually never died. Yaddle stepped down from the Jedi Council and the Jedi
Right.
Order. So what if she was like out there spreading her like a little green cooch to a bunch of other aliens?
It's possible. I think
Or
that uh-huh.
what if it was an immaculate birth?
That's what I was gonna say. But not even a birth. I believe that the Yoda species is a virgin of the Force. They probably just materialize somewhere and it just exists. I don't know if they're born to anybody. I think that they probably just like come out of the primordial soup every few millennia. So so Yoda was on his way out, and he died within the 50 years. So the Force manifested a new Yoda species to carry on, and that's why why it seems that their species is so Force sensitive. I believe they're born from the Force. That's why they have no planet. That's why it's such a mystery, and that's pretty much all they have to say. They don't explain anything else. That the Yoda species doesn't have a name because they are of the Force. They are born of the Force. Say the Force incarnate. Dare I say, like Jesus. So
I think there was only one explanation from George Lucas ever documented, and it wasn't serious. He said that Yoda is the illegitimate son of Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy.
Oh, I remember hearing about that. I do remember hearing about that. That's funny. All right, well, that's it. So if you guys are watching The Mandalorian, you're loving it as much as we are, and you know me, the way I've been feeling with Star Wars, it's huge how much I love it. Email us, keepbros@yahoo.com. We'll read your comments. Tell us what your favorite part is. We'd love to talk more Mandalorian. I cannot wait to talk more Mandalorian. I can't wait for Friday. Well, I have to watch it on Sunday with my son, but can't wait. All right, we're moving on to Squeezy Bits picks. YouTube Kids content creators demonetized. The article comes from thenerdist.com. YouTube FTC mandate rules for kids content infuriates creators. On September 4th this year, a settlement was reached in a lawsuit brought against YouTube by the state of New York and the Federal Trade Commission, which requires the Goliath video sharing platform to pony up $170 million for violating Children's Online Privacy Protection Act of 1998. The settlement not only resulted in the fine, but a slew of new rules that YouTube and therefore YouTube Kids content creators must comply with now. Now in a brief video, YouTube outlines the new rules, and they are frustrating. So let me see. How long is this? Oh, that's too long. 6 minutes. I will not be playing that. After the settlement, numerous YouTubers started pumping out videos decrying and declaring the new rules to be a major, perhaps fatal blow to people who create kids content on the platform for a living. The YouTubers' complaints are mostly focused on the fact that the terms of the settlement call for YouTube to stop collecting data on and aiming targeted ads at children viewers. Children defined as anyone below the age of 13. So, which would necessarily mean a decrease in many of the channel's revenue. And while the YouTubers themselves didn't have much clarification as to what the new rules would be, thanks to the video above, they do know now. You guys got to look it up. It's called Important Update for All Creators, whatever. So, first of all, one questionable result of YouTube changes to its kids' content policy is a sizable loss of revenue for most, if not all, the people making content aimed at children. Because YouTube no longer allows a targeted ads at children based on data collected from them, specifically cookies that track their history of online activity. YouTube channels that have kids' videos are their bread and butter will take a serious hit. Targeted ads based upon data collected from YouTube pays more content creators versus general ads that are not targeted, which means anyone who makes their content aimed at kids, a mandatory decision will be needed to be made before posting videos. So basically, YouTube is making videos. YouTube is making videos for. YouTube is marking videos for kids voluntarily, and their AI's decision do not represent the law. Just because your video did not get marked, it does not mean that COPA is not COPA compliant. So that's basically what's going on. It's a hell on earth for them. Here's another one. So the new YouTube COPA compliant rule are rolling out, and cool. Most of the channels got auto flagged as being for kids because Pokemon are cartoon characters, meaning 60 to 90% of my revenue will disappear. Very cool. Thanks, YouTube. This will destroy my channel. So basically, if you're making stuff for kids, you're making a living off of it, it's pretty much going to drop or disappear. It's gotten that bad, to the point where there's even a subscriber who sent me a link and said this is probably my last video, COPA, and basically it's because of what's going on. They're losing their revenue, and it's funny. I commiserate with them because YouTube reacts very harshly when these things happen, and it hurts the creators. I.e., like when we came. Remember when there was one part when I had to say, "Listen, we need to censor our content because we're getting flagged and we're not going to be seen." I mean, I don't care anymore now. It is what it is. But the more vulgar, the more real we are, the more even they were even flagging our content. Even when I bleeped out the curses, even if there was I had to debate. My God, there was an episode where I said "frickin'," and I said "fucking." And I had to literally slow down the footage. I had to send it back to. I demand an appeal. I didn't say fucking. I said freaking, but I said freaking the way I said it. And it took me 4 or 5 months to get rid of that strike for inappropriate content on one video. So I get it. I understand. YouTube, is no longer, in my opinion, YouTube has lost its viability to make money from, and I gave up on that a long time ago. I don't care about monetizing. That's why you guys see that the only video on my studio now that has an ad running on it is my 2017 web studio reel, which was all the shows, because I just keep forgetting to take off the ads. I've taken off ads off all my stuff. There's no point. There isn't. Because if there's ads on it, you get blocked. It doesn't mean anything right now. YouTube for me is no longer a viable source of income for any future. What we need is sponsorship. What we need is backing.
Pornhub.
What we need is Pornhub, exactly. So, I mean, how do you feel about this? You are a YouTuber by default by working with me in my studio. You don't really work too much on the content side of production and putting it up there, but you still feel the hit. Can you empathize with the fact that YouTube is now doing the draconian measures because of it got fined for doing the wrong thing? By the way, whatever they were doing, gathering cookies on kids and their habits to target ads has nothing to do with the YouTube content creators. They didn't do it, but they're being punished.
Well, it is very unfortunate though, because I can see how some people, by just putting out content, whether it's helpful or not, it does make money. For example, at America's Top Team, we put out tons of content. Not me specifically, but I do help with it, and just bringing a little bit of money. Imagine if somebody had to rely on that money though.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, do you remember that? I mean, I thought this was funny because, fuck this bitch. But there was this one girl who was crying because somebody reported her Instagram account, and that's how she made money, and they deleted her account and all her posts and so on. She started crying. She's like, I have no skills. I can't. I'm not. How am I gonna survive without my Instagram page? I can't do nothing in the real world. And this bitch was like just bawling and crying. I'm like, well, I mean, it just goes to show that you should always have a plan B. But it does suck that something that started out being so great. I remember being in middle school. No, not middle school. I was in high school when YouTube came out. And that's when I used to watch porn on it too. It was really good. But could you imagine that? Like, that is your livelihood, and now you're being demonetized.
Yeah.
Whether or not your content is good, I mean, obviously, I don't think everybody should be, getting paid for the shit they put out there, but they do. But regardless of that, there's a lot of good stuff out there, a lot of good content, a lot of stuff that does good, a lot of stuff that is entertainment, a lot of stuff that is valuable. A lot of education that you would otherwise have to pay thousands of dollars to get, at an educational institute. And, like you were saying earlier, how much it would take to have to keep up and put out such great content and then have to work a full-time job because you have to pay your own bills now.
It's almost impossible. If I have to be real about it, it's almost impossible to continually put out great content and still work a job. And then God forbid you have children, God forbid you have a personal life. That is the reason why so many of our productions fall by the wayside. Not many, but a few with me, because I have to keep moving. And I mean, you work in a 9-to-5 job, then you got to come home and work another 6-7 hours on a video, then you got to work another 3-4 hours posting that video, putting up meta tags, getting it out there, and guess what? Starting the process all over again. Somebody can't do it. I could not imagine how I would feel doing all of that, but relying upon the money I'd get from the side hustle, from the YouTube, and then not getting it, and then knowing I did all this work for nothing, besides entertaining people. That's why I gave up on trying to make money, because the stress of trying to make money on YouTube made what was essentially a hobby but now a passion into a chore, and I hated it. Because I had to censor this. I hated it because I had to cut this out and cut this joke out. I hated it because I was getting flagged. Now, if I get flagged, whatever, it is what it is. I move on with my life. You pull out a video, you pull out a video. It's fine. It was up there. It was, who watched it. So it's a shame, and I commiserate with you guys out there. And hopefully you figure it out, or YouTube, doesn't punish you guys for what they did. YouTube did it. But again, thanks Squeezy Bits for sending this over. YouTube is over. I believe YouTube is done. And it's really time for us content creators to band together and go somewhere else besides Pornhub. And I think it's about time. And again, 2020, Geek Bros will be searching for other locations to produce our content and put our content out there where it's going to be appreciated, seen, and valued. We may be silly and stupid, but we spend our time. My man here, Dorflex, is should be sleeping before he goes to work, and he's gotten up to do this 2-hour podcast. No pay, no nothing. And to enjoy himself because he appreciates it, he enjoys it, and he's committed. I think we should find a platform that appreciates that kind of dedication. That's all I have to say. All right, we're gonna move on to open mic.
Open mic.
This article comes from AnimeMotivation.com. Nintendo is working on an anime for The Legend of Zelda. Nintendo and Netflix are working on an anime version of The Legend of Zelda. This is big news for fans of the Zelda franchise and news fans of Nintendo. It was only a matter of time with all the adaptations that's going on. But yeah, Studio Ghibli, French blogs spoke on how Nintendo is working on the foundation of the story and the anime. So there you go. They're working on an anime version, not animated, anime version of The Legend of Zelda, which I think is a no-brainer. I'm surprised that this didn't happen a long time ago. What do you think?
I think it's going to be good. And here they even mentioned that Season 1 will be based on Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Season 2 will be based on Link to the Past and Link's Awakening. Season 3 will be Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass. I'm actually pretty excited for this because I mean, the at least the most recent one is an incredibly expensive game. I really appreciate that. And now being able to just sit back and actually watch it and possibly hear this motherfucker talk for once.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, these are different games. None of these games are really linked. Oh, no. Ocarina of Time, they are linked, aren't they? The two of them, the ones in each season are linked, not the 6 of them together. I know Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are linked. Link to the Past and Link's Awakening are linked, and Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass are linked, but the 6 of them aren't. So do you think it's going to be an anthology series?
I think so, but it's tough because I think everything is linked. It just happens at different times. It's kind of like the same person, kind of like rebooting the Matrix every single time. Based on what I've read as far as the lore goes, it's really. Really weird.
I've read the lore, and it looks like there's like 4 or 5 timelines. Kind of like I don't know. Have you ever watched Tenchi Muyo? Tenchi Muyo, have you?
Yeah.
There's an OVA, there's a TV series, there's Tenchi in Tokyo, there's the movies. These are all these continuities, and none of them link together. They don't. They're all their own separate thing. They just use the same characters to remix them. So I'm wondering if that's what they're going to do. Season 1's going to be, based on that. Season 2 is going to be a reimagining, starting over again. Season 3 is going to be starting over again. I don't care. I want to see it regardless.
Yeah,
I think
me
it's
too.
amazing. It's going to be great. So, all right, moving on. Christian Bale reveals why he wouldn't play Batman for a fourth time. This article comes from yahoo.com/lifestyle. Christian Bale has opened up about why he didn't make a fourth Batman film with director Chris Nolan. He said talking to the Toronto Sun, he said, we never were arrogant to assume that we had an opportunity to be on one film at a time. That's something that Chris always would talk about. He'd say, this is it. We're making one film. That's all we got. Then they came and said, well, you want to make another one? And this is fantastic. So this is it. No more opportunity. And they came up, do you want to make a third one? So Bill continued saying that Chris had always said to me that if we were fortunate to be able to make 3, we would stop and let's walk away after that. So of course, when they came coming about 4, they both said no because they did 3 and they wanted to end off on a bang. So that's the reason why him and Chris Nolan never saw it as an ongoing franchise. Even though I don't know, they would have made bank on a fourth one. I know that for a fact. But or if they crossed it over with Superman or something, he could have been like a reoccurring character. He didn't have to be like a main character. But it would have been great. Would you have wanted to see Bale Batman 4?
Yes, but at the same time, I understand and I totally respect his honorable decision to not do so. So more power to him. But yeah, I mean, to me, I think he's probably one of the better Batmans in my lifetime.
I mean, I think he was okay. I liked him. Definitely like him better than I liked what's his name, Ben Affleck. I don't think Ben Affleck was. I mean, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't. He was praised as like the shit. I was like, nah, whatever. But I liked the world they set up. I wanted to see what they were gonna do with Robin. That's what I really wanted to see. I wanted to see Chris Nolan's take on Robin, and they only teased it at the end. Or if they're just gonna make it like a Nightwing kind of thing. I really wanted to see where they were gonna go with that because I liked the real world aspect. I liked the groundedness of the series, and I wanted to see where it was going. So I would have loved to see a part 4, but sadly enough, we did it. So all right, moving on to Star Trek 4 is officially on the way with Fargo series creator and its director. This article comes from yahoo.com/entertainment. Star Trek 4 has been greenlit with a new director at the helm. Fargo series creator Noah, Hawley, whatever, was announced as the director of the 4th installment in a reboot franchise. The outlet reports that Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, and Zoe Saldana are expected to return to their roles as Spot, and Uhura, respectively. Reps for these 3 actors did not immediately respond to people's requests to comment. Have you watched any of the new Star Trek in the Kelvin universe or the J.J. Abrams reboot?
Yeah.
I mean, would you be interested in Star Trek 4? I like Star Trek 1.
Yeah.
Star Trek 2 was convoluted. Star Trek 3 was I enjoyed Star Trek 3 in Star Trek Beyond. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Yes, I would like to see a Star Trek 4.
Yeah, I mean, I do enjoy them. I will say I've never paid to see one, and I probably still wouldn't pay to see one. But the time that I do see it, they are enjoyable. They're good. Like just sit at home, not do nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, if you just want to hang out and just and the Star Trek movies, in my opinion, are good hangout movies. Hang out, grab a bunch of friends, grab some wings, sit down and watch and laugh and enjoy it, and talk in the middle of it because you don't need to really pay attention. I mean, the stories are pretty simple and you can tune in and out and just, oh, that's cool, that's a cool scene. But whenever I think of these Star Trek movies, I think of, man, where are my boys at? Let's hang out. Let's drink some beer and watch it. That's the kind of movie, popcorn movie, turn your brain off movie. So I'm glad. I can't wait to see it. I do pay to see these movies, by the way. I do go to the theater to see them. So. All right, moving on. And this one is really, oof. Kathleen Kennedy says George Lucas's criticism of Star Wars is because he finds it difficult to let go. This article comes from yahoo.com/entertainment. It's no surprise that George Lucas is no fan of the current Star Wars franchise. But according to Kathleen Kennedy, George immediately got upset as he began to describe the plot of and it dawned to him that they weren't using any of the stories that he submitted during the negotiations. Basically, Bob Iger in his books made it very clear that Bob Iger made it clear that George Lucas was disappointed when they pitched him The Force Awakens and he realized it wasn't the stories that he had done. Bob Iger actually bought 3 treatments that he wrote for a sequel trilogy. And he did make it clear to George Lucas that they're under no obligation to do these movies, but he probably expected that they would, and they didn't. And it was it was a problem for him, and he said there's nothing new in it. He didn't like it. Kathleen Kennedy says, personally, I've had a relationship with George going back all the way to meeting in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Is it time to go?
No, I'm saying George was smashing that.
Oh, maybe. So this is it's been a 35 year plus relationship, and she goes, she says I think initially that it was difficult for George. I don't think he anticipated how hard it would be. And JJ came with such enthusiasm and frankly reverence for Star Wars and for George, and had to find what was personal for him. He had to make this his own. He goes, every director who comes into a movie has to make something of their own, and they have to find themselves in the storytelling. And then going from a different point of view, I think that's what George is reacting to. So basically what she's saying is, and I'm paraphrasing, George was a spoiled brat, and he was just mad because they took his toys and did something different with his toys. What do you think about this statement? It was hard to let go. And I agree. Yeah, I don't have a Star Wars franchise. I have a Scorned story, and I could never see me giving Scorned away and then watching somebody turn that story into something else and me not be thrilled about it. So I get it, but
it's tough. Now, hold on.
Ooh,
are you giving me $4 billion? Can you hear me?
For what?
Like, if I was in this position, are you still offering me $4 billion?
Yes.
I'm sure I would still find it hard to let go, and I'll be sad, but it's a different kind of sad, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. But I think
it's tough. It's okay. I have never created anything as monolithic as the beast that is Star Wars. Correct, right?
Right.
I would definitely, and if in the negotiations I presented storylines that you have to use and they don't use them, that would kind of tick me off. Because it's not like, yes, I know you're buying it from me, but you're only buying it with money. None of this is your creativity. None of this is the birth of your imagination. So have a little bit more respect and try to carry on the legacy of what was built.
True.
But at the same time, if you want to look at it logically, he sold it. Doesn't have any more rights. Yeah, you can be upset, but it doesn't matter. But still, me, and I guess it's because I'm a fan, but I'm also not a piece of shit. But if I were to give George Lucas $4 billion for this, it's because I love it and because I love what he's created, and I would try to carry on that to the best of my ability. And I know that this guy has the recipe for what Star Wars is. Why wouldn't I follow the story to percentage?
There's the things that we have to remember that Kathleen Kennedy, that was part of the deal. That if he's going to sell to Disney, that he wanted Kathleen Kennedy to be the president because he thought Kathleen Kennedy would honor and respect his vision, and he'd have a voice still in the creation. And in the end, after reasonable, Kathleen Kennedy betrayed him. I'm pretty sure they didn't have a conversation. Hey, Kathy, look, I want to make you the president, but I expect you to still uphold, and listen to some of my things. I'm pretty sure they didn't have that conversation, but it's implied. It was implied. Why he made sure, and he didn't say, this is who I kind of want. He said, if you're buying Lucasfilm, my successor is Kathleen Kennedy, period. Because he had faith in her. He believed that she would carry on the legacy and do it, and God forbid, allow him to still have some kind of say in what's going on in his creation. And I don't think they did. So, and I think Kathleen Kennedy, instead of being reasonable and saying, listen, you know what? We kind of screwed him over. Money aside, personally, kind of screwed him over personally, and we made some poor decisions, and maybe George was right, and that's the thing. And it's like, I wish she would humble herself and just admit the fact that she's made some poor choices, and her direction has damaged the brand, damaged it far worse than the prequels ever did. In my opinion, the prequels didn't damage the brand at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, it made it a joke a little bit, but it didn't
Yeah.
damage the brand. Nobody,
Well,
there was no up in arms, and they were still making money from it. So, um, I don't know. I
I
don't know.
mean, it's like those young black rappers say. What is it?
More
These
money,
hoes
more
ain't
problems.
loyal.
Oh,
No,
oh
these hoes ain't
yeah.
loyal, dog.
It's true. It's true. All right, on that note, we're going to move on to the Lord of the Rings TV show release date, cast, trailer, everything we know so far about Amazon Prime series. The article comes from yahoo.com/entertainment.
This is a long
Um,
article.
it is, and I don't know if I'm reading all this.
Okay.
Lord of the Rings. Okay, you got a
No,
paraphrase
I'm
for
just
us?
saying. I mean, it's not really telling you anything other that they have until 2021 to release something.
Oh, okay. Well, Lord of the Rings show release date. Show starts has to start production by 2020. That's the deal with Tokyo Estate. Amazon reportedly spent $250 million getting that rights. Lord of the Rings writers and directors. The writers are going to be J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay. They will also be co-showrunners in the new series. Um, what else? The Lord of the Rings casting. I don't see anything there so far. Yes, Markella Kavanagh, an Australian actress best known for starring in Romper Tomper TV show. What is this crap? This article sucks. The show will be set in, what was it? The Second
The
Age?
second
Yes,
age during
the Second
the
Age.
first fall of Sauron.
The first one was saw the show locations are confirmed that they're going to be filming in New Zealand, and this Lord of the Rings show will not involve Peter Jackson. So that's what we know so far. This article sucked. Why did I
It does.
even?
That's what I'm saying. This is long. And all it's really telling you that we don't know. The only thing that we haven't heard was that they have until 2021 to start production. I
Oh
mean,
no,
or
I
to
knew that.
2020 to start production.
Oh, I
Oh,
know
I
that. I
didn't. But
know.
everything else is the same stuff they've been releasing for the past like 3 months. Like we knew who these actors were. We knew where they were going to film it. We knew the era. We knew the time. So I don't know. It's just a long article telling us nothing.
Okay. No, you're right. I agree. I totally agree. Um. All right. So that's it. Totaling's nothing. Sucks. Moving on to J.J. Abrams reacts to Star Wars. No. J.J. Abrams reacts to Lucas's Star Wars regrets. This article comes from superherohype.com. George Lucas has made it clear in the past that he's not particularly a fan of new Star Wars films, but J.J. Abrams has a pretty good idea as to why Lucas feels that way. During an interview with Rolling Stone, Abrams shared his thoughts. He said it's probably a complicated thing for him, says Abrams regarding Lucas selling Star Wars in 2012. Has any of you seen have you seen the video or the picture of Lucas selling Star Wars? He's not smiling.
I have not seen that picture.
There's a picture, and there's even a video of him signing it and shaking hands, and Bob Iger is smiling. He has no smile on his face.
Hey,
Like, I don't.
he's married to a black woman, right?
Yes.
George Lucas.
Yes.
I bet you as soon as they got married, like, all right, it's time to fucking grow up, white boy. And she made him sell Star Wars.
You think so? That'd be interesting if that's really what happened.
I bet she was Haitian too.
Because he didn't look like he was thrilled about it at all. Like there was real hesitation there, and it looked like he was strong armed. But the story is he went to Disney and offered it to Disney. So like I guess maybe what seller's remorse, I don't know. But he did not look happy. It breaks my heart when I see those clips of him shaking hands with Bob Iger after signing it, or the picture. He's just him like this, and Bob was like. So I don't know. Anyway, to decide you're going to sell this thing that you created that was your baby to anyone, that must be more complicated than signing a check and smiling about it, which he wasn't smiling. Exactly. See, that's what Bob Iger did. He signed a check and he smiled. However, Lucas hasn't completely given a cold shoulder to new films. Abrams has noted that he is incredibly generous, and incredibly gracious and super generous during a meeting with him during the Force Awakens filming. So he goes, do I wish that The Force Awakens had been his favorite movie of all time? Yes. I would only want to do well by him. Would I just say that I have nothing but profound respect for the guy, and I'm still truly even more so now working on these movies and all that he created? Yes. So basically, he's doubling down on what Kathleen Kennedy said, that the reason why he doesn't really seem to be having any reverence for the new series is because he's got seller's remorse. They didn't follow his plan. He didn't really like, that they took his story in a, I would say a different direction, but also kind of like going in a circle. I would love to personally know what George Lucas thought of The Last Jedi. I have not found any quote or anything alluding to what he thought. I know he doesn't like the sequel trilogy at all, or any of the movies that's come out. That's fine, but I want to know specifically, what do you think that what they did to Luke? What do you think about that? That's what I'm dying to find out. So,
Me too.
I wish, what you do? You should tweet George Lucas every day forever until we find out what he thought. Or if since we're going to the next celebration, if he shows up, we gotta just heckle. We gotta be hecklers in the audience. What did you think of The Last Jedi, George? Mr. Lucas, So I'm just saying.
He likes the Mandalorian.
He does, but he has a hand in the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
He has some story credit. He went on set. He's helping. He's helped Jon Favreau a little bit with it. He's consulted on the Mandalorian. He didn't consult on The Last Jedi, from what I understand, and he barely consulted, if at all, on The Force Awakens. So I'm just saying. All right, we're moving on to Sacha Baron Cohen says social media companies have created the greatest propaganda machine in history. This article comes from Gizmodo.com. I'm going to paraphrase it. Basically, what he said is he got an award somewhere. Who cares? And what he went on a tirade about how democracy, it depends on truth, and the fact is that these social media, they propagate lies and fake news and have corrupted the very essence of knowledge that helps. Like right here, he says it's as if the age of reason, the era of evidential argument, is ending, and now knowledge is delegitimized and scientific consensus is dismissed. Stuff like that for fake news and for stuff like that. I agree that social media has damned us. It's brought us a wealth of information, but a lot of wealth of disinformation, both from trolls, from people who don't know what they're talking about, and from governments who just want to, give us misinformation. How do you feel about that? Can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Wow.
Can't hear you.
It wasn't even muted. I don't know why I muted it. I said I agree. There's a lot of stupid people out there, a lot of people who read the stupid people stuff and follow it. Like, so for the most part, I don't believe a majority of things that I read out there, right? Like,
Right,
I don't think for example, the Earth being round thing, I don't think I've ever confirmed that I believe it's round. I just said I don't fucking know or care because I don't know anything about it.
Right.
Like for example, the article we had earlier, how to play video games and not ruin your body. That one I could tell you, it's all common sense, and I could even tell you what was wrong with it.
Right.
And I could tell you, hey, don't believe that, because it's something I can prove easily in 30 seconds, or sorry, in 30 minutes. But it is hard because there's a lot of fake stuff out there. For example, when people started doing the death hoax, they're like, oh, so and so died at this age, and you find out they're not really dead, and because it's just out there, anybody can read it. And there's a lot of uneducated, stupid people out there.
Oh, absolutely. A lot. They outweigh the educated ones. Their voices are louder too.
Unfortunately, So,
I agree.
That's just where we live in, though. Hopefully, natural selection will take its course and just kind of weed those fuckers out.
You'd hope so, but I think they've reached critical mass that you're more likely to lose the intelligent people than you are to lose the fools. You ever seen Idiocracy?
No.
You need to watch it. It's the dumbest movie in existence, but it basically projects us into the future and shows how the dumb people, quote unquote dumb people, they overran the intelligence so much that that's it. All they pass on is dumb genes, and the Earth is just sex, advertising, fast food, and dumb people, because they bred so much. They bred out the intelligence of America. It's a satire, and it's a cautionary tale, but it's a dumbass movie. I'm telling you, I'm not saying it's profound in any way, shape, or form. They're basically making a mockery of what could potentially be our future if we continue going down this road. I gotta step away to go punch something real quick. When you read this next article, the next article we have is coming from Polygon.com. The reason why you can't buy a Baby Yoda plushie is because spoilers. Hit it.
All right. So everybody loves babies. Everybody loves Yoda. It's a no-brainer. Baby plus Yoda equals dollars. Richard Gottlieb, CEO of Global Toy Group, a one-stop shop for toy resources, tells Polygon that there is no doubt that the breakout character from The Mandalorian is primed for the market. But 3 episodes into Disney Plus series, those big green ears aren't flapping around any single toy show. It's an abnormality for the franchise, since George Lucas first revolutionized the toy industry with his original trilogy licensing deals. Every Star Wars person, place, or ship has been reproduced for playtime adventures, except Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda, dubbed as such since no official canonical species or name has been revealed, first appeared at the end of The Mandalorian's premiere. The oohs and ahs, and the memes immediately rolled in. Everyone's talking about those eyes. According to Werner Herzog, who plays the client on The Mandalorian, Baby Yoda is so cute in person.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So yeah, so basically, I assumed because I didn't read the article, I assumed the reason why there's no plushies is because they didn't want to spoil his inclusion in the series, right?
Yeah, so pretty much, so let's skip all the cute stuff and all the BS, all everything else. So, for
Right.
example, why can you order a plush Dio toy from the new Rise of Skywalker, but you can't get a Baby Yoda? And it's just don't want any spoilers. Okay, and John Favreau told Entertainment Tonight that absent Baby Yoda toys was a deliberate choice in order to avoid leaks.
Right.
For example, like we've seen in the past, when they released the soundtrack to Phantom Menace before the movie was released, one of the titles for the song was um, Qui-Gon's Noble Demise or Noble Fall or Death or something like that.
Really? I
So,
didn't
like, you
know
know,
that.
oh shit. Well, yeah, we know that he's gonna die. All right. So they're just really trying to avoid spoilers. For example, like figures of presumably deceased characters like Black Panther, Spider-Man, and Star-Lord give away the fact that they'd be back in Endgame. So when they released the Endgame toys, they had all the characters that were snapped. Um,
True.
yeah. So and then
But you know what? You have to respect that because Baby Yoda, of course, is partially for marketing, and you have to respect that their commitment to at least the story, that they didn't just flood Baby Yoda out there because you know right now if they had Baby Yoda on the market, it'd be selling out. That'd be the Christmas toy. I'm just being real.
yeah.
But they, that's quite endearing, for Disney to do, to not do that and throw it out there later on. So I'm quite impressed that they kept it back. So I don't know how you guys feel. Again, I want a Baby Yoda. I'm gonna get one. I want to get the most
Me
expensive
too.
one ever. You know.
I'm
Um,
gonna have my girlfriend make me one.
oh, there you go. See. So we'll go from there. All right, we're moving on to the next topic. Deadpool director says he left the franchise because of Ryan Reynolds. Basically, this article comes from yahoo.com/lifestyle. This is coming. What's his name again?
Tim Miller.
Tim Miller. He says it became clear that Ryan wanted to be in control of the franchise. He said you can work that way. You can work that way as a director quite successfully, but I can't. I don't mind having a debate, but if I can't win, I don't want to play. And I don't think you can negotiate every creative decision. There's too many to make. Ryan's the face of the franchise. He was the most important component of that by far. So if he decides he wants to control it, then he's going to control it. So I'm quite I don't say shocked, but I'm baffled that this is being said now. That I don't even know what the point of it is. But do you believe that's why he left Deadpool, is because Ryan Reynolds wanted to control the franchise? I mean it was his baby. I mean he wanted to make this thing forever. So
I think he was trying to bang Ryan's wife. What's her face? I don't know her name.
Blake Lively.
Yeah, she's like not a good actress, but yeah, probably that. But no, I mean I don't know. There's gonna be something more. I mean, I can't imagine. See me, the fact that I like Deadpool so much, and the fact that I like money, I wouldn't leave. So
Right.
to me, I would think there's something else there. But probably for a person like him who's always had this, who's had that success and so on, that might just be enough for someone like him, because when you've had a taste, you know that you can be more. For someone like me who hasn't had a taste of that, I can clearly say I would not leave. has to be some other BS or something going on.
No,
there.
I agree. I agree. And money makes the world go round. I mean, that's how they got J.J. Abrams back. He didn't want to come back, but they dropped a Brinks truck of money on him, and that's it. He's back. So I'm pretty sure if they really wanted him, they would have given him money. I agree. But at the same time, though, directors are artists too. You know what I'm saying? And they can have diva tendencies. I don't say he was, or they can also have like, standards, and they want to be able to collaborate, and they don't want to be here's a script, do it the way I want it. You want to be able to take the script and interpret it the way you want to interpret. I'm not nowhere close to these professionals I want to be one day, but I can empathize, or I can identify, because as a digital media producer, I work on a lot of projects that are not mine internally, and I'm telling you right now, the one of the worst projects I ever worked on was a show called
Bacon the Beans?
No, not Bacon the Beans. It was a Caribbean entertainment show, and I was the director of it, and the director of photography, and the editor. But the host, she had all these demands. She had all these timelines. She wanted things this way. And I looked at her like, hold on now. Who's doing all this post-production? I am. How we need, and we butted heads a lot of times about this. And I hated every minute of, not every minute, but most minutes of producing that show, because she'd want me to go home with 4 hours worth of footage when all I needed was 30 minutes to do a 10-minute show. You want to introduce it. I'm just like, listen, this is not what we're doing. You're going too far. So eventually I didn't quit the show, but when she wanted to do a season 2, I said, no, I'm good. I wasn't being paid for it. It's a little different, but it was what, I like doing these kind of things. So when she asked me for a season 2 of the show, I said, no, I'm okay. And please believe that she never had a season 2, because who could she find that they work the way I work for free, voluntarily, and would put up with her? And so, that's that. So I get it. I absolutely get it. Why he would have left? Because if I can't, be creative, I can't say. But if my professional opinion as a director doesn't mean anything, then why am I there? So I understand. Final topic. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker director J.J. Abrams admits the movie still isn't complete. This comes from cheatsheet.com. December 20th is 14 days. No, what is today?
16 days
16 days away. This article came out November 25th, and there's still rumors that it's still not final yet. These rumors have been propagating for a while. This movie needed to be done and in the can 2-3 months ago. I'm bringing up this article because we didn't even hear this crap about The Last Jedi. How does this... And he admits, at the very least, on the 25th, movie wasn't done. 25th was less than a month from theatrical release. Does that bode well for The Rise of Skywalker?
It's interesting. I'm going to say no, but then when I finish the article, it said that he isn't worried. It seems like, while it's not done yet, things are somewhat going to plan, so I have faith. I have faith that, not the quality of the movie, but I have faith that it'll be ready for a theatrical release by the 20th.
The last rumor that I heard is that the final edit is locked down, and right now they're running shifts 24 hours a day of rendering and producing all the graphics for the movie. I'm concerned. This is not, a regular movie with just a few special effects. This is a special effects heavy series, and you are just locking down the edit less than a month away, and now you have to do all the post production for it, all the edit, all the sound mixing. John Williams only just recently finished the score for the movie. He released it saying, "Oh, we finished the score of the movie." You finished the score of the movie 4 weeks before the movie came out. So I'm concerned. I wish unfortunately Garbanzo was here so I could really debate this with him, because I'd love to hear what he has to say about this. This is a red flag. This is a testament to a red flag. No, don't get me wrong. Movies have been this crappy before. World War Z, for example, had a troubled production, but I liked World War Z. I thought it was gonna be a train wreck. When I watched it, I was like, "Holy crap!" I don't know what kind of trouble they had, but maybe they fix this in the edit or in post. Great movie. Is it possible that at the 11th hour they can pull out something amazing? Yes. This is Star Wars we're talking about. You're wrapping up 9 films. You're wrapping up decades worth of story. We shouldn't be doing an 11th hour rewrite, reboot, re-edit, final cut, or post-production. That's just how I feel. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
I just hope it doesn't push back the date for us to watch the movie, honestly. But
I don't think that the Disney's fiscal projections can afford a delay.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have it done. I think they can do it, man. I mean, it does suck though, working under pressure. I know how it is, but hey, man, you're taking on a beast. You gotta expect beasts of work.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. As a countdown to the Rise of Skywalker continues, 16 days and counting, and we'll go from there. So that is it for Keeping the Geek Bros episode 88. I want to thank Darflex for hanging in there with me, being the sole survivor. I don't know what the heck happened to Joe Tar. I have no idea what happened to Garbanzo, but we'll see what happens next week. What happened to Garbanzo?
His wife is beating him again.
Fantastic. Shout outs to Pink Jess. All right, so remember you can check us out on Instagram, Twitter, at Geek Bros at 0. That's GEKBRO0S. Email us geekbros@0 Of course, Facebook.com/Geek Bros at 0. Listen to us every Wednesday, with the occasional exception, at WeBeGeeksPC.com, and watch these fun times. YouTube.com/Vibref Studios. Flex, tell these 5 people where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Darth_Flex. The only one with that name, actually. I've checked.
Good.
And I guess you can find me on...
I'm wondering, I'm sitting here like a...
Yeah, I think that's it. You can find me on Grindr under Grant-Henriques Grants.
Okay, so I'm Vibe. You can check me out. That's Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. It's all the same. Vibref Studios. VIBERUV STUDIOS to see all the studio stuff from the Geek Bros to more Geek Bros and everything in between. So, thank you for tuning in with Keeping the Geek Bros podcast. And remember, geeking out still sounds this good.
Keeping up with the Geek Bros.